your hand if you know Pokemon. Woo! All right. Now raise your hand if you're familiar with Sailor Moon. All right, I know who you are now. So my name is Achiru, and when I was a little girl, I could relate to Sailor Mercury. 1, she was smart, she was top of her class. 2, she was ambitious, she wanted to be a doctor. And 3, the most important one of all, she wasn't as boy crazy as the rest of them. See, I never had a crush, and so I could relate to smiling sympathetically, listening to my friends talk about who they liked and which celebrities they found hot, whereas I just wanted to study. Now, after a couple of years, season 3 of Sailor Moon finally crossed the ocean, and I was introduced to the smart and ambitious and beautiful and artistic, top of her class Sailor Neptune. Not only could she play the violin and paint and swim, most importantly, she also had a girlfriend that races motorcycles. You see, on TV at the time, they called them cousins. But the visuals were fooling nobody. There is no way you enter every scene hip to hip with rose petals flying through the air and romantic music playing in the background going, hoo, 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 and we're that close because they're cousins. See, I don't think North America was prepared for how gay the show was. And that is the kind of romance that I wanted. It was mature, it wasn't clingy, there was no jealous arguing, and I never got that from Western media. Besides watching Inspector Gadget and Looney Tunes and Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, see, as beautiful and as smart, as ambitious as Carmen Sandiego was, she was a lone wolf. And I was done being one. You see, I wanted to be the best, like no one ever was, at crafting a masterpiece of a story like Clamp did with Cardcaptor Sakura. I wanted to weave together a tangled web of relationships that showed openness and acceptance and love. I can relate to being demisexual. You see, it's not until your crazy matches my crazy to the same intensity that we feel like kindred spirits that I get turned on. My porn is called OTP, which stands for One True Pairing. I love it when one person is just right for another person and I am not even in the picture. Otherwise, my attraction only exists as an aesthetic attraction, meaning you there are really, really pretty. I don't want to be with you. I'm just going to be creepily memorizing your facial features and making this portrait. See, when you are artistic and creative, sometimes you feel like an evil genius. Shh. My girlfriend at the time hushed me. That's creepy, she said. So I edited that part of myself because I wanted her to like me. And she was the first person that I actively wanted to pursue and get to know. I didn't think that part of me was hurting anybody, and I was kind of sad to have to do that. And the more I got to know her better, the more she got to know me, the more it was apparent it was not meant to be, and she let me go. So I did what no one does when they're dumped, and I walked into Chapters and into the self-help section, and I pulled filled out every book on romance and how to find and keep the one. And I finally came across my own personal definition of what love is after filtering through all the heteronormative language and asking, I could write a book with the exact same information but in gender-neutral terms, and I wonder if that would sell. But I digress. Raise your hand if you want to know what my definition of love is. All right. My definition of love is a conversation you never want to end, even though you really, really, really need to pee, because the person in front of you and the topic at hand is just so engaging and more important than nature's call. And after a long time waiting, I was finally introduced to such a person. He was over 9,000! He could sing, "Dragon, dragon, rock the dragon, and let's Beyblade," and race across the Peace Bridge with me like Scarlet Overkill and Herb from the Minions movie, going, "Oh!" and nail the laugh of Pegasus from Yu-Gi-Oh! I can relate, because he too wanted to be the best that no one ever was at his own indie comic. And even though our conversations sometimes result in silence, it's not too long before he wants to share about his characters, and I want to share about my characters, and we want to reminisce about the great time we had together watching all 148 episodes of the 2011 reanimated Hunter x Hunter together. You in your male body channeling a female protagonist, and I in my female body channeling a male protagonist. We prepare for trouble, and we make it double. Matthew Carberry, will you be the James to my Jesse?
It's funny because I always love Sailor Mercury too, so. Yes. Hell yes. Absolutely. Oh, gonna put this on?
Put it on your other finger. I think I measured it to fit your ring finger.
This one?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. We're trying to figure out which finger it goes on.
Clearly you're the shade to my Vera. Thank you, Annie.
You're welcome.
Never know what's round the bend. We go up the hill and then down again. And when there's trouble, we'll get through. We always have, and we always do. Nothing in the world can bring us down. No, not us, not us. Spread a little sunshine all around. There's never enough, 'cause all we wanna do is have a good time, having lots of fun with all these friends of mine. All we wanna do is celebrate. Every time we've been together, it's been great. Looking for